Today we are unboxing and reviewing the Bronc Magic permanent makeup machine. This is their newest model of permanent makeup machine, and it is a wireless device. So let's go ahead and open it up and have a look at this. So this is what it looks like right out of the box. You've got the machine here with the wireless battery. You've got the plug and the charging cord, which is a USB-C cord. And this little guy right here is an RCA adapter, which I think is an excellent idea because you never know when something's going to go wrong and you might need a backup way to offer a power supply. So I think that was an absolutely excellent idea. So also in the box you've got your manual, and of course, like all things, you could just go online and download manual, watch videos of it working and things like that. Let's take a look at the machine here. So you can see it's a slim design. This is the machine down here. The battery is from here over, and the battery just screws right off the top like that. And you can see the way that these batteries are, the way that they connect is not the same way that something like this connects. So these wireless batteries that fit into RCA ports, if you have a machine like this that has this type of battery, you're not going to be able to stick a RCA power supply in there, which is why, like I said, this adapter is such a great idea. So if you, for whatever reason, you forgot to charge your battery or whatever, and you need to take this off, you can just screw this right on. So you screw this right on, and now you've got a wired pen. And so if you have a RCA wire, an RCA cord that goes to a power supply, you can use that. Or if you've got an RCA wireless battery, you can use that. And there you go, the day is saved and you don't have to worry. So absolutely excellent idea, and a total lifesaver if you're like me and you always forget to charge your battery. Now, I will say that when I first got this machine, I really wanted to be able to give you a good solid review of how I felt about it. And so I used it for the entire week, and I did several procedures. I did 2 lips, 5 or 6 powder brows, 2 nano brows or hair stroke brows, 2 removals, and 2 beauty marks. And I will tell you that I only charged it one time when I got it out of the box. I was able to do all of those procedures on one single charge. So that is an incredible battery life. So I was very impressed with the battery life on that. So to put the battery back on, you just screw it back on like this. Of course I can't see it because I'm so like that. Make sure it's tight, and then the power button is right here. Hold it and you'll see the digital screen come on, and then you're ready to push it again and turn it on. Now I don't know if you can hear that, but it is very, very low. And I know that often my phone picks up sound and makes it sound much louder, but like I have to put it all the way over here to hear it. So it is a very, very quiet machine, which of course, when we're doing permanent makeup, we don't want to scare our ladies, right? So a quiet machine is absolutely important to me. And having this digital readout so that you know exactly what your voltage is. And it also tells you what your battery power is. So you can see, so if you notice that your battery is starting to die and you're not done with your procedure, you can always switch over to the other, if you have a second battery, or you can always switch over to the adapter. So I love that it gives me that readout right there so I can like visually see it without, and know exactly how much I have left, because some other machines, like they'll just blink red when they're getting low, and then you don't know, do you have 1 minute, do you have 10 minutes, do you have an hour? So I like being able to see how much battery I have left. So that's, might seem trivial to you, but it's very important to me. So the housing itself, it's an aluminum housing, so you can wipe this down with cold sterilization like Cavicide or something like that. And if we twist this, the grip, It does come off and you can throw it in the autoclave. It is autoclavable. Now I mentioned that it's autoclavable and that you can wipe it with Cavicide, but especially all these little grooves and all of these little areas and things like that, you don't want to use these machines without covering them. I would never advocate to not cover your machine. However, even with the best barrier film and wrap and everything else, accidents do happen. So if for whatever reason your barrier is compromised, you are able to sanitize this and throw the grip in the autoclave. So that's also very important. Now, also, when we want to change the needle length, right, not the stroke length, we'll talk about that in a second, but when we're changing the needle length, right, we twist just like any other machine. We're going to twist the grip here. And do you hear that? If you can hear that clicking, that's a ratcheted twisting mechanism in there. And so what I like about that is that it definitely makes it a little tighter, and then you can hear that clicking. So what has happened to me in the past is I've used machines that have kind of like a looser twist, and they don't have that ratcheting, so there's not that clicking. And while I'm working, I will notice that my needle length has changed. It either got longer or shorter, and it's so annoying. And it could be from how I'm picking the machine up, how I'm holding it, from the vibration, like whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I want something that not only is a little harder to twist so that I don't have to worry about that, but it has that click so that I know when I'm twisting it and when it's, that I know it's being stable. So that is, again, also very important to me. So let's talk about the specs on this machine. It comes in black, like you see here, because of course it's me. Why wouldn't I get it in black? Red, black, rose red, which is like a pink, army green, purple, and rose gold. The stroke length on this is 3.5 millimeters, and that is pretty standard for tattoo machines lately. Permanent makeup machines, like many years ago, you would see more often shorter stroke lengths, and as we're kind of like getting into newer techniques and things like that, we've moved out of the 1.5, 1.8 to anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5. So 3.5 is a great stroke length. And again, the hit on it, because you can, on a machine like this, you cannot change the stroke length and you cannot change the give. And so I will say though that the give on this, I've been working with it at about 5.5, and it has a very soft hit. The give on this is very gentle, and so 3.5 stroke length for me with the softer give is perfectly fine for what I do. I did not see a lot of swelling or redness or bleeding or anything like that. The motor is a Swiss motor and has a working voltage of 5 to 12 volts. But they do not recommend that you use it that high. The recommended working voltage for this is 5.5 to 7.5. And like I said, I've been using it this whole week at 5.5, and I am perfectly happy with the performance of it at that number. The machine itself is 4.8 ounces, so it is very light. One thing that I would criticize about it is that I feel like the weight is mostly towards the back half here, like in the power supply. It's much lighter over here. It's a little heavier over here. And so when I'm working with it, I do feel a difference in the kind of the weight distribution that is different than the other machines that I use, which I feel like the weight is all right here in the center. So it's not something that I found that bothered me while I was working, but it was something that it took a little while for like my muscle memory to kind of get used to kind of dial into. But as you can see, it's very easy to manipulate it with just the two fingers. That pendulum motion that is so popular, using it as a pendulum is very easy, and it's because it's such a light machine, you're not getting muscle fatigue or anything like that, and it didn't bother me, as far as that. Like I said, I do wish that the weight was kind of concentrated to the center, but again, it's kind of like when you're used to driving one car and you get in the other car, and it just kind of takes a few minutes for your body to kind of adjust and get used to it. But other than that, I didn't feel like it was a very big deal. Now, the price point on this machine, I've seen it online anywhere from $250 to $320, which is a very good price. Of course, you can buy a machine for $1,000, $1,500, and those are absolutely excellent machines. You can also buy a machine for $50. And it has been my experience in testing these machines that the $50 machine is typically going to break down somewhere within 8 to 10 working hours. When I have use those machines and tested them and see how long I could work with them, they do not last very long. So even if you're thinking about buying this machine as a backup machine, which, side note, you should always have a backup machine. When we're working with electronics, we're working with machines, mechanical things, and mechanical things sometimes go wrong. So there's nothing worse than being in the middle of your workday or in the middle of a procedure and having your machine just decide that today is the day that it is going on strike. So, and that has happened to me so many times over the years. It is, I think, absolutely crucial that you have a backup machine. And the thing is, can you have a cheap backup machine? Yeah, you can, because it's just a backup machine, but you still want the quality that is going to be closer to your expensive machine. You do not want the quality of a $50 machine. So like I said, this machine, so far in my testing of it, I used it for a little over a week, almost 10 days. I used it on many procedures and different procedures, and I enjoyed the performance of it. The healed results are not in yet, but working with it, seeing how it works, everything went really well. I did not see a lot of swelling or inflammation. So like I said, it does have a gentle hit, and pigment implanted very well. All of the things that we look for. There was good needle stability. I did not get muscle fatigue. As far as that goes, 5 stars. As far as the weight goes, I'm going to deduct 1 star for, the distribution of weight, like I talked about. So 4 stars on, I guess, ergonomics. And on price point, absolutely 5 stars, because at a price point of around $300, it is a very affordable machine, whether it's going to be your primary or your backup machine. So, and 5 stars plus a little chef kiss extra for having the adapter plug, because that is an absolute necessity, because you never know. It's better to be prepared. What is it saying? It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So just as a disclaimer, I was sent this machine to test out and to review, and I always try to give my most honest reviews of things. I wanted to use it, and so that I would have a good idea of how it works so that I could be able to show it to you. But this machine was sent to me by the company, and I do not make any money on the machine. I do not sell the machine. I don't make a commission on the machine. I will link, I'll put a link right down below so that if you're interested in purchasing it, or if you want to go read the specs yourself, that you can. But I do not work for the company, and I do not make any money from this. As a final thing, the one thing that I did not show you is the needle cartridges. So it is a universal cartridge machine. So I'm going to use Big Wasp Energy cartridge for this. And so this is the cartridge. This is a universal cartridge, and it will go right in the machine and click, and that's it. It's in. The machine does not only take Big Wasp needles. Big Wasp is a universal cartridge. This is a universal cartridge machine, so any universal cartridge that you like will work. These happen to be my favorite, so that's why I'm showing them to you. And that's it. And lastly, although it is a Swiss motor in the machine, it is a Chinese company. It is made in China. And so one of the things that people get nervous about buying something from another country is, am I going to be able to get customer service? If something goes wrong, am I going to be able to reach someone so that they can help me? And the answer with this company is 100% yes. I find that I contact them 2 ways. I contact them via Instagram and also WhatsApp. And I usually, if I reach out with something, I usually get a response within a few hours, but always within a 24-hour period. They speak fantastic English. I've never had a language barrier problem, and I've never had any questions that went unanswered or where I had any difficulty with their customer service. So on that front, definitely 5 stars. I would even venture to say that I get faster customer service response from them than I do from some American companies. So in that regard, it's not a concern for me at all. They've always been very communicative with me, so I haven't had that issue. But if you have this machine, please comment below. Tell me what you think of the machine. If you've used other Bronc machines before, tell me what you thought of them. Do you like them? Do you find that they're good quality? Do you use them often? Have you been a user for a long time? I absolutely want to know your feedback on everything. This is my first Bronc PMU machine, so like I said, I'm very impressed with the quality and the performance of it so far, but since I'm only just started using it, I'm interested in your feedback too. Go ahead and leave me a comment below, and I will come back later. Give me a couple months and I'll come back with an update and let you know how things are going with it. I would also like to take a moment to thank the Bronc company for sending me their permanent makeup machine. It's been a pleasure to use, and I loved reviewing it. So thank you again, and I will see you in the next video.